When the Spanish arrived and heard about an armored giant with a glowing stone on its forehead that no weapon could pierce, they were not listening to fantasy. In 1500, Spanish conquistadors arrived on the coast of South America and began collecting something more valuable than gold: stories. The indigenous peoples of Patagonia and the Pampas described a creature unlike anything the Europeans had encountered in their bestiary of known animals. It was enormous, the size of a small house, they said. It moved slowly. It was covered not in fur or scales, but in something harder, something that looked almost manufactured, a shell of interlocking bony plates that no spear could penetrate. And at the center of its forehead, catching the light of the Patagonian sun, it carried a gemstone, a carnival, a deep red stone, luminous and extraordinary, that the creature used, according to legend, to blind any predator that dared approach it. Beneath the grasslands of Patagonia, Argentina, and Uruguay, the earth is thick with the remains of Glyptodon, one of the most extraordinary animals that has ever walked at the surface of this planet. A relative of the modern armadillo, scaled up by evolution to the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, up to 11 feet long, weighing in at over 2 tons, and encased head to tail in a shell of fused hexagonal bone plates so dense and so interlocked that researchers have described it as essentially a natural suit of armor. Predators didn't hunt Glyptodon so much as give up and find something easier. It also carried on the top of its skull a raised bony cap, a dome of solid bone sitting above the eyes, prominent and centered that in certain light and at certain angles catches and reflects its surroundings with an almost gem-like quality. A carnival, on the forehead, exactly where the legend placed it. So when the Spanish arrived and heard about an armored giant with a glowing stone on its forehead that no weapon could pierce, they were not listening to fantasy. They were listening to 10,000 years of compressed memory, passed generation to generation across a continent about an animal so strange and so heavily defended that the only explanation that did it justice was a supernatural one. The gemstone wasn't real, but the monster that carried it absolutely was.